Ayo Heisenberg Pride, sup. It's 6W Heisenberg here, and please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as it really does help out a lot if you do so. I'm trying to build a tight knit community based around medias I love, such as gaming, comic books, television, sports, music, and books in general, and any support to my channel would be greatly appreciated. Let's not cue that intro. So hey y'all, we're not killing an intro today. Uh, this will just be a channel update, and I'm gonna go through what I plan to do with my channel going forward. Uh, so you guys will have to stick around and watch the video, but I'm gonna start releasing content, and I don't want you guys to look at the content and then be like, "How did this turn into this?" Right? Like, how did we go from here to here and not have any context? So let's get into it. Uh, First off, I'm sorry I've been absent. I Part of it's been laziness, part of it, but a lot of it too is just wasn't confident in myself. Watched a few of my past videos, and I feel like my on-camera presence in terms of talking is not as bad as I thought it was, and I need to improve anyway. I can't just doubt myself. I got to keep going at it until I get good at it. So we'll be posting regular content. Uh, Also, my family's been in the hospital. Uh, Dad fell down the stairs. My grandmother is having heart issues. My uncle and then my cousin, his daughter, both went to the hospital due to chest pain. Alright, breathing issues, sorry. Uh just to name some of the stuff. Oh, my other uncle just got a seizure last like a few weeks ago in the middle of the food truck. Just added on to that. Yeah, so there's been a lot of health issues. Like I've called out work so much like this year, just just for medical issues alone. Dogs dying. Literally, I'll talk about it in another video about our process and getting our dogs. But getting my new dog that we just got last Sunday, but it was a struggle, and it all started for one dog we got kind of uh but this dog, unfortunately, my buddy, I love him, rest his soul, Mavy, he died, Maverick, but we call him Mavy, he died like 3 months ago. That's when this all happened. My dad got in an accident. My dad fell. My grandma went to the hospital, and he died all within the same week. It was just rough. So, yeah. But we're going to start posting content consistently now. One thing I want to bring up is the mask. This mask has sentimental value to me because it has this right here, which is my cousin Malia's pins that we had to see if she was going to be a girl or a boy. We all wanted my uncle, and this uncle was the same uncle who had a seizure. We all wanted him to have a girl because he kept having boys. He had two boys, and we're like, it would be fun if he had a girl, and he finally had a girl, and we love it. Uh, we love it. And also because that was my stillborn sister's name. She was technically born before me. Uh, if you guys don't know what a stillborn is, it basically means that they died in the womb. So she was born, but then she was dead. Uh, Unfortunate. So I'm not sure if that's where my uncle got the name from. Might have was, might have not have been, but yeah. So that's why this is like sentimental to me also because my homie Eric Matthews, which I will get into that after this, he told me, hey, you should continue to wear this because it makes you unique. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And I love doing so. But it's going to change. So, first, so the thing is when I wear this mask, doing just a normal face-to-face YouTube video with you guys like this is completely fine. I can do this. But in case you guys don't know, I've been doing research on YouTube. I've been watching YouTubers like Mr. Beast or whatever to try to refine my craft. And as Dave said, the algorithm doesn't favor talking videos like this. It favors fast form. Let's get to the point. We're doing this. Uh, so because of that, unfortunately, uh, well, not unfortunately, but because of that, I won't be doing as much as standing right in your face talking videos. I don't want to do that anyways. I want to do more gaming and another type of content along with the music reviews, which again we'll get into that in a second, and I'll get into that other type of content in a second. So with gaming, there's some games on multiverses in Smash where I could use the mask and it'd probably work fine. It wouldn't be the best. It probably works fine. But if you see here, see how small these eyes are? These are what I have to look at when I'm playing a game like League, which, in case you guys don't know, I constantly play League. I love League of Legends. And that's content I want to upload on Twitch, uh, too, and YouTube. It's not going to really work, uh, well, because I can't see the map and I can't see other stuff, which makes it really hard to play. So I want to get myself a furry mask. Now, I wouldn't consider myself a furry. I don't mind if people do want to call me a furry. My siblings have used it as a joke. I just have a strong connection to animals, dogs, and in particular lions. Uh, Lions have been my favorite animal since I don't know how long. In fact, it's kind of weird because my first Halloween costume was a lion. Uh, I don't have the picture, but yeah. Uh, the first Halloween costume, my first Halloween costume was Lion. My favorite Disney movie, The Lion King. I love lions, and uh, it even exemplified my love for it more because I'm a big gamer, and one of the games that attached to me the most was Elder Scrolls. In fact, it's my favorite gaming franchise of all time, and I used to watch my dad play it all the time, and growing up, eventually when I was like 6, 7, I was still young. I had been egging to play it. He eventually allowed me to play Oblivion. He's like, okay, look, when you get home from school today, you can play Oblivion. I was so excited. I remember this fondly. Uh, Yay, I get to play Oblivion. So I go and I get a. So I go. I'm so excited to PE class. I'm telling my homies at PE, hey, I get to go home and play Oblivion. And they're like, what the fuck is that? And I go home and I kill the guards and take their clothes because I thought the guards' clothes was cool. My dad said no, he doesn't want me playing the game anymore because I was killing guards and taking their clothes. Which is funny because that's what a lot of people do. My dad would think as a kid, and I still think he thinks now that I'm going to turn out to be this terrible, horrible person because in video games I like killing people, like in like GTA. But that's what you do in GTA. I don't play GTA like that much anymore, but when I did, that's what I do. Or I kill guards in Oblivion, and it's like, yeah, that's fun to do, right? Like you have an Xbox 360 controller, you just triggers are fun to press, right? I have a sword. It's fun to hit someone. I know I'm gonna die. I know I'm going to have to restart my save, or I get gold. But it's fun, right? And that's why like he yells at me. We have like not fights, but just debates because like I like Cobra Kai. I love Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is one of my favorite franchises. It's not Cobra Kai. It's the Miyagi verse because I love everything to do with fucking Karate Kid. In fact, I'm going to take our martial arts lessons because of that series. I want to take particular what they do in Cobra Kai, but we would have debates. We have debates sometimes because I'm like, I agree with Cobra Kai. I agree with what they say. I agree that you should show no mercy because life is not going to show you mercy. So why are you showing life mercy? And I said something like when I was over there a few weeks ago because I'll go over to where he's at every once in a while. I'm not going over there every week, but I'll go over there and I hang out with him. And I'm like, mercy is for the weak, and he gets pissed off because he's like, "You're so wrong with that. You were so wrong." Da da da. And I'm like, are they wrong? They're not wrong. Mercy is for the weak in terms of if you show life mercy, it's not going to show you mercy back. If a man is out on the street, he tries to kill you, are you going to show him mercy then? I mean, obviously there are some points like where mercy could be granted and be completely fine, but I agree with what a lot of mostly what Cobra Kai says. But I do agree. Like things like, for instance, like Terry Silver, deranged now. He's not mentally stable. Uh, I tell him that Sensei Kreese is my favorite sensei because he taught the kids to be strong, and my dad's like, well, you abused him, or not you abused, well, he abused Johnny and them. I'm like, it's never stated he abused Johnny and them. It's literally stated that he would have them. I guess. I mean, well, actually, it is abuse. My bad, because he's having them punch the kids. But Johnny did the same thing, and no one talked crap about Johnny. The fighting style back then was much more different. Back then in the 80s, even though I wasn't alive in the 80s, but when they teaching like martial arts, you were going to get hit, you were going to get punched. That's my point of view. Uh, he he loved his students, and he wanted nothing but his students to be the very best and succeed at the very best. That's why overall I think Johnny's the best sensei, because Johnny took those ideals I love but made it better for learning. But that's outside of point. Getting away from that, uh, so he took it away from me, and I just felt so sad that I couldn't play Oblivion. Uh, I broke his Oblivion disc by accident, so he couldn't play it no more, and he just waited until Skyrim came out and bought Skyrim, and that's one of my favorite gaming of all time. Anyways, I'm not a furry, but Raja I love, and it's very easy to make. It's not easy, but it makes sense to make a furry mask like that, and furry mask has better eyesight. So I said, hey, I'll make, I'll have someone commission me better mask. This will also go well with the D&D stream because I'll actually have a mask I can use throughout the whole stream. Don't know how much it's going to cost. I'm guessing around like 200, like 300. I don't need it to be the best of quality, like best of best. I just need it work to where it'll sit on my head. It'll work for the video, and then yeah, then for the Twitch. Outside of that, we then will transition into the, besides the D&D stuff that's going to get done too. That's for a later date. Music artists. We will still be doing the music reviews. I have I have 4 interviews that are done. One of them that's actually edited and ready to be uploaded to YouTube anytime now. 2 more one that I'm working on getting edited. I just had to wait until we got the new dog. We just got the new dog and other stuff, and then now we're gonna start editing that video. We have another interview that's coming out too. I'll just tell you the artist, Nico RJ, which at the time he was known as LBM, Wildcard, and he's an entrepreneur, not so much so an artist. Love his content. Next, besides the music reviews, because I know Nico's released new songs and Ray just released a new song that we're gonna probably review, I want to play games. I am going to play the Elder Scrolls because that's the game that feels the most familiar to me. That and Marvel Ultimate Alliance does, but I'm probably not going to play that right away. I know I've done a video of it on this channel, but you know, we're going to do Elder Scrolls first with a character that I'm going to have to make and do it. Speaking of that, we're making an Elder Scrolls mod for Batman. I can't wait. We have composure work being done. I am now getting arts made. What the hell is it called? I forget what's called, but I'm getting the art made so then they can be made into 3D models. It is working out so far pretty good in terms of we got pretty much the lore set in stone for what we want to do. We're not just editing it and making it look better. Essentially, just we got the lore established for Gotham Hold, which is what we need. Yeah, lore established for I think pretty much every character from that point forward. We just now need to get that into actual concept art, is what it's called, concept art, and then from the concept art, we'll go from there to uh, 3D modeling, and then go from there. But this is going to take time because I'm funding this myself, and I also want to buy a truck soon. So that's also another life update. I'm going to buy a truck soon. I want a Chevy Silverado. Uh, so yeah. Outside of all of that, because yeah, we're going to talk about the last thing I want to talk about, which is the new concept that I'm going to be doing a lot of on my channel. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Huge Doctor Who fan. I remember when I got into Doctor Who. Now, I got into Doctor Who in a weird way from everyone else. My first experience with Doctor Who was with my brother, Bean Boom. He watched it and he liked it. He started with the Ninth Doctor and then the 11th Doctor, or the 10th Doctor. I mean, I would I will say now I'm a way bigger fan than he is, like a way bigger fan than he is. But you get my drift. He watched it. I didn't like to watch. I didn't want to like this crap he watched, and there was just some stuff I genuinely felt like was dumb. Like for instance, Spider Riders. Slug Terror was pretty good. I was pretty alright. I mean, not like good, but it was good enough where I could watch it and I kind of enjoyed it. Uh, Ben 10's good. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. So he started watching Doctor Who. This was freshman year of high school. I began watching the show and I loved it. Uh, or not watching the show. I just looked at stuff from the show like I just all of a sudden one day just wanted to look up Doctor Who facts, and I looked up all the doctors and I found it interesting, and then I watched YouTube shorts and clips for like 2 weeks straight, like for hours a day of Doctor Who, and I became a fan. And then it slowly got to me after watching the series. I started back then watching The Unearthly Child. I got from there and try to watch as much as possible on sites. Uh, Perfectly good sites to use. The sites like YouTube. Uh, but they were showing it out of order, and I wonder why there was so many episodes skipped. It literally went from like episode 5 of like the first Doctor to Tomb of the Cybermen. Now, if you don't know, that's probably the second Doctor's one of his greatest stories and one of the greatest stories of Doctor Who history. And to go from the first Doctor's 5th episode to the Tomb of the Cybermen is completely like 3 seasons being skipped. Uh, so I just stopped watching that and I tried to watch New Who. Uh, I then got I then watched a little bit, but then I stopped for a little while. I then got this tattoo. Uh, I have a bad issue where I start watching the series and then I don't finish them all right away. Like I'm watching all of the Power Rangers. I've gotten up to, just got done with SPD. I'm on Mystic Force right now, and then we're gonna go from there. But this was Doctor Who. That is, yeah. So Doc Who tat. And then I started watching more there with Christopher Eccleston. He's actually one of my favorite doctors, and I have a special connection with him because he was my first Doctor on screen. But whatever. So then I've now been watching the first Doctor's era. Uh, it's funny. I could tell you several things about each Doctor, even though I have seen probably the most out of any era was the first Doctor's era. Like, I mean, several things. That's how much I looked into Doctor Who and how much I love the series. I just haven't sat down and watched the series episode by episode, which is what I'm currently doing. So, another thing I like is stuff like Neverending Story and Chronicles of Narnia. And I had this idea: what if the Doctor was in the Chronicles of Narnia? Now, I was a really good writer, and I tried to get better at it. And I think for a start, it wasn't terrible, by no means necessary. But I'm like, I didn't write a whole thing. I just wrote a tiny section. So I'm like, what do I do? right, I'm just gonna stop until I get better and give my ideas and ask people. I have to ask people in the Chronicles of Narnia subreddit and in the Doctor Who subreddit what I should do with the story. And they're like, yeah, this. So I agreed. Uh, and then I just kind of just dropped it because I wanted to wait until I could get better at writing before I wrote something like that. And then ChatGPT came out. I didn't use it for months. I had no reason to use it. I'm like, I wonder if it could, like they said, it can write anything. Let me see, because I got one of those phone ChatGPT apps, and then I went to actual ChatGPT, and then I'm like, hey, can you give me a basis on which software would work the best for this story? Da da da. I went through that, and it actually did give me the best author, which authors would work the best for that story. Uh, and one of those authors was the author I had originally had for the story, and I think we're going to keep for the story. We're like, okay, that's amazing. Uh, can you actually write me the story? And it began writing me the story. I'm like, holy, you can do that. I was just watching Neverending Story, and I loved the Neverending Story. So I'm like, I was obsessed with it at the time, like obsessed. I love that movie so much, and sometimes I just watch it and I get obsessed. Uh, and just with other movies in general, the worst I got it was actually this year. It was with Mulan. Like I had to watch Mulan every week. I felt like it was a curse if I didn't. Like we would lose the freaking Super Bowl. The Bengals would if we didn't watch it. Amazing movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. A top 5 Disney movie for me. I have to keep watching it. Like I had to keep watching it. Like every second of my day was filled with Mulan. Like even at work when I was doing dishes and stuff, I put my earphones in. Mulan would be on the screen, right on my phone. Uh, I love Mulan. Uh, but so then I'm like, why don't I write this instead? Because it's just fresh in my mind, and we can do this, and I don't have to read 10 books. And ChatGPT, it's not actually 10 books for Chronicles of Narnia, but did it. It worked, and we wrote the first story. So I'm like, let's turn this into actual YouTube content, and that's going to be the start of a new series where we're going to get a book series or a popular movie, whatever, and then we're going to get the Doctor first, begin with the Doctor, and then we'll go into other stuff like, for instance, Charmed, one of my favorite television shows of all time. We'll then go through that and go into uh like what if they make Chucky, crap like that, and we'll just make fanfics and we'll go through there. And it's going to usually be a two-part series every time, where it's going to be part one, me explaining the premise, me giving you the rundown for this case the Doctor on why each Doctor would work and why they wouldn't work, and then from there I'll choose the Doctor, and then we'll go from there. Funny fact, I have for 2 stories, not Chronicles of Narnia included, the Never-Ending Story and another story that I'll get to. I have both Doctors chosen for this story, or for these retrospective stories, or for each story. So yeah, that's going to be the new content that I want to really push on this channel, and I can't wait to do for you all. We're going to do the full video. I can start doing it right after this. In fact, I probably will after this start doing the video. Uh, anyways, this is all I have to say about the update on my channel. Thank you for coming by. This is 6W Heisenberg signing out. Peace, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, gang.